Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Board Game Mechanics. I'm Katie, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It is Jason.
I was just thinking today that it felt like it had been a long time since we recorded a podcast, but it was just last week. I don't know why it seems like weeks since we've done one.
It's just been a busy week, I think. Maybe that's why.
It has
been.
Busy
for you. I haven't done much, but busy for you.
Yeah, it's been crazy busy. Every time I'm like, yeah, once my grades are turned in, which my semester's over and I'm done with those dang kids for a while, I always feel really great at the beginning of the semester. I'm like, yeah, I love teaching school. I love my students. Go English. And then by the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never want to do this again. I hate all you kids. Like, it's inevitably how it goes. But I was so ready for the summer break, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have like a billion books because that's what I like to do. I'm like, oh, I have like 8 from the library. I went to Half Price Books and bought like 8 more. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go meet this friend. Oh, I'm gonna go help my grandma do this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clean the entire house. Like everything I've put off the whole semester. I'm like, okay, now's the time, and I'm like, wow, I thought I was just supposed to relax.
Well, helping your grandma is not really your choice.
That's true.
So all those other things are your choice. The grandma thing is, I would really love it if you could come help me. And by that, I mean, help me now.
Well, I feel like I should. But yeah, so much for a quiet summer. I'm still teaching this summer, but it's only one class and it's online. So I feel like I'm going to have a lot of extra time. So that's why I'm like, ooh, all the books. And now I'm like, you do not have that much extra time. And it's the changing of seasons. Like Ohio's decided, okay, winter's over, forget spring, we're right to summer. So I need to change out all the clothes. It's a madhouse here, pretty much. Just a complete madhouse. I mean, it usually is a madhouse, to be fair.
That's normal.
Yeah, it's just like all kinds of extra activities. You know, and every summer I'm like, okay, this summer, we're going to have like this great schedule every day. And like the kids are going to do this and they get up and I'm going to get a chore chart. And, we're going to have like educational activities, and that's going to fall apart in like a week. I still can't stop myself from thinking it, but I know I'll be like, I don't care. Today we'll just watch TV all day because there's 12 billion loads of laundry. Good luck.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Who knows how it's going to turn out? So, this is not witty banter or zany banter. This is just apparently a therapy session for me.
Yeah, it needs to happen sometimes.
I guess. Sorry, everybody, that you had to like sit through this. But I do have news in crowdfunding, so I guess I should talk about board games now. Hey. Which is what Jason would like me to do with my summer instead of wanting to read all the time.
No comment.
I feel like you should know what you were getting into when you met me. I was an English major at the time. No surprise.
Yeah, it's fine. You like boring books. I got it.
I like amazing books. You don't know. So for news and crowdfunding, I have one from Gamefound. I'm not very good with this website. I'm doing my best here. Thankfully, Mike is out there doing the hard work, beating the pavement. And then he's like, oh yeah, this one's good on Gamefound. I'm like, okay, I will try to use my brain and figure it out. And the game I want to talk about on Gamefound is called Damask, which is, like a cloth, right? And it's silk and woven into patterns. The reason it's called Damask is that fabric was first made in Damascus. Interesting. Huh. Okay. For those who care about theme, what you're doing in this game is you are taking these cards. It looks like it's a set collection. No, I wouldn't say set collection. What is it? Contract fulfillment? I would say contract fulfillment, because you take like a pattern of damask that you want to work on, and there's this kind of cool wheel that you pull cubes of different colored silk from that you're going to use to fulfill the different colors needed for the damask pattern. And so what happens is you can spin the wheel and take as many cubes. You start at any point and you can take as many cubes as you can until you have 2 of the same color, like from that you pulled, I think, from the wheel itself. So that's kind of interesting. And then you can take cubes from of different kinds of soak from players' overstock. It gives them like these cool favor tokens, which are really helpful. But you are able to complete your patterns, and then you mount them. And if they're like part of the fashionable ones, you're going to get favors from the Weavers Guild. Those favors can have all kinds of uses, and they're going to really help you. So there's like basically only 4 main actions, but there are lots of different choices, and it's really pretty. Like you get to like spin this wheel to pick up cubes. And it's like, ooh, where do I need to go so I can get as many cubes as I can before I get to the same color? Like, it seems like there's some interesting little choices there. So I like that. So if you're into weaving, or you like the idea of a spinning cube thing, or, just want to try something new, check out Damask. It's on Gamefound. There are 11 days left on the campaign, and it is $33.
Yeah, so I like the way this looks, and the reason I was initially into this is because this is the company that did that Die of the Dead game where you're shaking the coffins with the dice and climbing up the steps. And it has a similar vibe to it. Like, they do really funky art. Like, that one's like the Day of the Dead art, but this one's still, if you can tell it's them, I think, by looking at the box. And I like that game, so I feel like this one's probably, in the same vein, but that wheel is pretty cool in the middle where you're grabbing the cubes, and any game that has cubes, I'm automatically in for. So sounds cool. Yeah, this one looks good.
Yeah, I think they're estimating maybe $10 in shipping costs to the US, so that's not too bad either.
Nope.
All right, so the next one, I got to be honest, Kickstarter, it's looking a little rough for me right now. There are games on there, and I'll save them to look at them later, and then I get back to them, and I'm like, this looks really dumb. Got to be honest. Pickings are thin. We're coming to summer, coming to con season, so people aren't putting as much stuff out on Kickstarter. I get it. So I picked a few that thematically are interesting to me. They may not be the best games, but they're worth a look. The first one is called Murder and Company, and this is the second game from this group. So the second one's called Fallen Star. The first one, I saw the name of it. They had done this before. So it's basically like a murder mystery type subscription box. I don't know why they call it subscription box, because it's one box.
That's not what a subscription means.
I know. I don't understand that. Oh, Snow Angel was the first one. But you get the box. It's about this young woman who goes out to Hollywood in the late 70s, 80s, falls in with the wrong crown, ends up being murdered. So they send you a box, all kinds of different things. This is not just consulting detective, but it's a little bit more where you're getting objects, even like an old camera, or in their sample picture, there's this fringed coin purse. There is this kind of soap dish that looks like an ace of spades. There's postcards and letters and just all sorts of coasters and hotel key tags, an earring maybe. So all these different kind of objects that all kind of interrelate. There's red herrings. There's, good information there. All these things to kind of help you piece together what happened in this mystery. So it really encourages you to make a murder board, connect things, use the objects, just kind of use it to strategize and figure out who the characters are and stuff, and deduce. And there's ciphers and just different things to sort through, which I always think is cool. Another thing I like about this is by a company called, it's 3 women called Murder Mamas, which I think is awesome. And I like the idea of supporting women in gaming. And I also like murder, not to commit murder, but to listen to true crime podcasts, to solve cases like this. So I man, this seems pretty cool. Now, my only thing is it's a little, but see, this one says finish box 3. Okay, I'm so confused. This is my issue. I'm confused on how this stuff works. So if you go to back this project, there are a bunch of different levels, and I don't understand what they all mean. I thought I did. And they encourage you to like DM them, so maybe that's the way to go.
No. If you're on the Kickstarter page, they need to fully explain it to you. You don't need to go DM them for additional questions. That's dumb.
Well, so like there's like a pledge for like $25, and you get a digital download of episode 1 of our newest story, Falling Star. And then it comes as a printable PDF with all these, like, and access to a hints and tips page. I don't understand what that means. Because then for $75, you can get all 6 digital episodes of the Fallen Star story. So maybe it's 6 boxes. Maybe it's, and like, do they all build in the case? Or are they all about I don't know. Then there's a level 85 where you get like their first one, the first Snow Angel story, and this new Fallen Star one. I think you get all the digital downloads for that. I don't. But then then if you want box 1 with the stuff to come to your door is $130. And you get the digital episodes. Okay, but then if you pledge $300, you get all 6 physical boxes with they keep calling them gifts. So I'm wondering if you can solve them without the actual stuff and you can just look at it on the
I don't
PDF.
know. It sounds convoluted.
I know, like I really want to be a part of it, but I'm just so confused. So if you want all 6 physical boxes of these things and episodes, do they all relate to one case? Yes. Is each one a different solvable murder? I don't know. That's $300.
Just send the designer a message and he'll let you know, or they'll let you know.
They'll let you know. Or yeah, if you are probably smarter than me, go check out the Kickstarter page and tell me that I'm an idiot and missed the explanation. Because it's absolutely possible and probably plausible. But I like a good murder mystery. So if you want to solve the mystery of how this Kickstarter works, go check out Murder & Company Falling Star on Kickstarter. There's 5 days left. To get the digital episodes, I think all 6 is $130. All the physical boxes is like $300. That's all I know. Help me out.
Yeah, let's move on from convolution to the next one. The next one sounds exciting.
The next one you're going to love, Jace, and I love it mostly because of theme. And I want to talk about All-Time Wrestling, the wrestling card game. Okay.
What? This is a card game about wrestling? I would have never guessed.
A card game about wrestling. Not only is it a card game about wrestling, it features on the Kickstarter an actual like video message from Kurt Angle himself.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
The 13-time world champion. Just want to point that out. So I thought that was really interesting. So in this game, it's when you back it at its most basic level, it's a 2-player Kickstarter. There are also solo modes. There's also 4-player modes, but you just have to back it higher. So I'll talk about those a little bit later. So in this game, you are playing a wrestler. Okay, right? It's like a battle. Kind of a battle game, but it's not turn-based. So what happens is players battle over who has the initiative. So the person who has the initiative, they're the attacker. And so it's a chance to deal damage or actually like pin your opponent. They don't really explain the initiative system and how you do that I can tell.
Gameplay's not important. Come on. We just want to talk about the wrestlers that are in this game.
Well, so you have like your player board for your wrestler. So when you have the initiative, you spend stamina, you play these attack cards. The opponent can try to block or reverse or use their special ability to try to block your attack and then regain the initiative. So that's one way to get the initiative. Then if like the defender can't block you, roll a dice to get the target number that you need to the attack. And there's some modifiers and stuff. So it's not like, if you're like, okay, I want to do leg scissor move, I got to roll a certain thing. And the attack successful, you deal damage, you get momentum, which is really true in a real match. You can like then use that momentum to help you pin your opponent or do like a combo or use like your cool special ability. Like for example, Macho Man Randy Savage has a special ability called Macho Madness that you can do. And then you're kind of going back and forth then to try and be the first person to pin your opponent. They're saying that matches usually take, I know I read that somewhere, like 20 minutes. So pretty quick. But like you're in a wrestling match, man. Like that's so fun. So through this card and dice experience. Now, at the basic level, you don't get all of the cool wrestlers, okay? So that's why I want to, if you're a wrestling fan like me and Jason, we love some professional wrestling in this house. Even our youngest daughter loves it. The base, Kickstarter edition, only $29, right? You get Kurt Angle, the British Bulldog, Jax Felix, and Makundi Shumba, okay? They got their own unique attack deck, player board, special abilities. Really cool. But if you're like me, I want the Legends. So you want to go to the Kickstarter Legends editions, which gives you Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, plus Kurt Angle, British Bulldog, Jax Felix, and Makundi Shumba. I want to play as on.
I thought I followed this game on Facebook, and I thought they said they signed Roddy Piper's likeness too.
Ooh.
So I saw that. It wasn't that long ago, because they have to get the licensing agreements and all that, and they've been posting them as they trickle in. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that I saw Roddy Piper. So maybe Roddy Piper will be in there by the end of the campaign, which would be pretty cool.
It might be as they're building the campaign. I'm just excited. Andre Giant Macho Man. Like I'll do that. Now, that's only for 2-player games, which is still cool. I mean, I'll play Andre versus Macho Man any day, or British Bulldog. $54 for that. But if you want to play with 2 to 4 players, so you can do tag team, you can do last man standing, you can do cage matches. You want to go for the deluxe edition, Double Trouble, which is $67. Still pretty cool. You even get a cage match board to go along with that. Love it. If you're like, I want to play solo mode or I want to play campaign mode with storylines and skill updates and face and heal abilities. Oh man.
And drama. The wrestling drama. The
wrestling drama. Plus 2 additional wrestlers, Ray El Intrepido Jaguar and Oda Tsurugi, which some of these, they have their own wrestlers. They made them up. You need to go in all or nothing, $99. There's so many options here. Amazing.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. And if Roddy does show up, that would be amazing.
If Roddy shows up, we're backing this. Like, that's all I can say. I love me some Roddy Piper. Absolutely. Now, I'd love to see, there's so many wrestling legends that I want to see on this. Oh my gosh,
Mick Foley, come on.
Well, any of Mick Foley's personas, Cactus Jack, Mankind.
No, Dude Love.
Dude Love is the worst of Mick Foley's personas, people. Everybody weigh in. If any of you know anything about wrestling, who's the best version of Mick Foley? He wrestled as himself. There's Dude Love, who's stupid. Cactus Jack, who's got the barbed wire baseball bat. Or
Mankind is probably the best.
But Sacco. I know. Thank you. So don't even act like Dude Love.
I do like Dude Love, though, because Dude Love's like a goof.
Stupid. So I think that would be really cool. I hope maybe if this does well, then they'll do more expansions and try to get more wrestlers. Are you sure it's this game? Because I'm looking at the updates.
Absolutely positive. Because I saw when they talked about Kurt Angle and Macho Man.
Yeah, because he was update on May 10th.
And I maybe they were in talks with Roddy Piper, but there was some discussion, and Roddy Piper was drawing in some art. So, yeah.
Okay. I was trying to see if maybe I need to look at like the stretch goals, because I normally just skip over that because I'm like, yeah, whatever. 4 playable wrestlers. That's what's in it. Okay, 2 more wrestlers, Macho Man, Andre.
And I tried to look it up on Facebook, but they've been posting in a group, and their community is like private, and I am not a member yet. So,
and they probably will kick you out anyway because you're like the worst in Facebook groups.
I would just watch. I have nothing to say on this. I just wanted to follow for the updates.
Man, solo mode, like you have like a wrestler's career. You can choose if you're going to become a baby face, you're going to be a heel. You've got rivalries. You're upgrading your skills. Daggone, man, that sounds awesome. I don't see. Oh,
yeah, I didn't see him either.
Sledgehammer.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But I saw it, and maybe it's not this one, but what are the chances of another wrestling game with similar characters and similar art having Roddy Piper? So, I don't know.
This is true. So it sounds like stuff is unfolding. It's absolutely funded. I guess we're just... maybe we're the only crazy people that are into what my mother always called big time wrestling.
There's 277 backers on the project, so nope. Clearly not.
From like people in the Riveted. I don't know who in the Riveted is into it.
Oh,
tell us. Tell me who your favorite wrestler is of all time. I'm gonna tell you mine.
Dude,
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. Heartbreak Kid. You were dumb. HBK. He was like my first. This is all kinds of things revealing. This is how nerdy I am. First crush, celebrity crush. It was Shawn Michaels, a professional wrestler.
Yeah, that's sad. We should just edit that out because that's embarrassing.
Oh my gosh. I don't care. So anyway, check out All Time Wrestling, the wrestling card game. 13 days left in that Kickstarter. If you're going to go like all in, $99, I would highly recommend the Legends at the very least for $54. And that's the exciting end to news.
All right, so let's jump into some games played. And we played a lot of games this last weekend, because we had a weekend away where we had some friends over and we just played some board games. I missed out on a little bit because I had a concert, but yeah, we still got some games played. And we played different games, but we did manage to play at least these three together. So we're going to talk about these three. And the first game we're going to talk about is a game from the Italians, because we love the Italians, and it's called Alma Mater. And we played this with our friend Matt. It was his first time playing, and we played it correctly this time. So this is our second time playing this correctly.
We played it like, I don't know, 6 or 8 times. We've only played it correct twice.
So effectively what you're doing in this is you are running a university, and you are hiring professors. You're getting students to come to your university. And basically how that works is through some worker placement. You're going to go to these different sections on the board to buy people's books. I don't know why. Hire professors, get students, get money because you got to have money, and then maybe turn money into points. The cool thing about this is the worker placement. You're never really blocked out of an area. You can just go there with one more worker than is already there. So if I went there with one, Katie wanted to go there, she'd have to send 2 workers to that space to take the action. So you can do it. It's costly because you only have 4 to 6 workers. So you could be spending a lot of your round going to this one section, which is no bueno. But you're doing all that kind of stuff over a course of 6 rounds, kind of building your own player board up, building your tableau with these professors, activating the professors to score a bunch of actions and points, and just trying to be the person to have the most points at the end of the game. And that's it. It's the sequel of sorts to Coimbra, I think in art and theme only. I don't know how they're connected, but this is a really good game. Playing it correctly makes it even better, because you're playing it correctly. But I really enjoyed it. So what did you think about Alma Mater this time?
I liked it. I feel like we haven't played it in such a long time that every time we play is a new one. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game, but again, some of my favorite mechanisms are happening where there's so many different ways to score points, and you can go in whatever way possible, like collecting students and even especially getting the students that give you end of game points and kind of using those to greatest effect. Professors are difficult to get just because some of them require so many books, and you have to spend turns getting your own books and getting books from other players and having this variety of colors, and they need to be available, and they're not always available when you want them to be available. Like, it is there's some really serious tension. You have to kind of plan ahead because you're like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I don't have the books to do that. What kind of books do I need? How do I get them? Cards that give you, or like, the professors will give you different abilities that you can use. Just a lot of really good stuff happening in this worker placement game. I love the little books. They're really little books and like fun colors. And I just, of course that appeals to me. More than anything, I love to handle the books. But yeah, it's just a really thinky, but not, like, I wouldn't say like Vita Lacerda insurmountable kind of thinking, just very much you kind of have to plan a couple turns to put your plan into action, but I think you do have enough time to actually see it to fruition. So I think it's super good. And I think the theme is fun and different. And I mean, I don't want to say pasted on in some ways, but it's not really that vital, but it's cool.
No, it's a Euro game with a theme. That's how it goes. Yeah, it's a good game. I like it. I still probably like Coimbra better. It feels cleaner and smoother to me, but I do really like Alma Mater. So next up was a game that we've played, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, and it is called Belgian Beers Race. Now, I wanted this real bad. Last year it came out at Gen Con. Or Origins, one of the two. We actually bought this at the con with above my pricing limit because that's how bad I wanted it. And man, Is it good. It's so good. So all this game is it's a race around Belgium to visit breweries, taste beers, buy beer, and then maybe make some cheese. And you're trying to go visit as many of these breweries as you can, which is going to help you score points. If you're there first, you're going to get these little bottles or coasters, which are worth more points. Certain breweries have a different shape around them. There's a compass, a hex, a meeple, and a heart. They're going to let you move up on a track, which will give you more points. If you run into another player at a brewery, you're going to toast them, which could, what ultimately gives you both points, but it could cause someone to pass out because they have to toast you. And if they're already too intoxicated, bad times. You're going to play over 2 or 3 rounds. We always play 3 rounds because 2 is too short. And then by the end of the 3rd round, you need to make sure you're back in the Grand Palace or whatever it's called, or you're going to lose 15 points for every space that you're away. There's a little more to it than that. Like hitchhiking is how you move, biking, busing. They all have their pros and cons. At a certain point, when you're too intoxicated, you can't ride your bike anymore because you're drunk. You may sit on the bus too long because you're drunk and you forget what stop you're getting off. So there are some pros and cons to all the transportation methods, but effectively moving around the map, visiting breweries, trying to score the most points. We do have some characters and events that next time we play this, I'm going to bust those out because I want to play them just to see what it adds to the game, because I think, it'll make it a little bit deeper. But I love this game. It's so good. Your friend Jamie hadn't played it, and her brother-in-law bought it after he saw our video and loved it, so she wanted to try it. So, I think everybody liked it, but I love it. So how do you feel this time?
Every time we play this, I like it even more. Like, legitimately. I'm always like, this is so fun. Like, managing your time. To be fair, I actually did better this time than I normally do. Normally, I pass out drunk the first day. And it really
same. I actually scored some points this time, so that's good.
I don't remember who won, but
it was probably Matt or Jay. I think it was Jamie, actually.
No, it was me. I think it was me.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't me, so I blocked it out.
But I feel like we were kind of close on this one. Whereas, I whooped the pants off all you at Alma Mater. Almost
that's
lapped you.
true.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I think
let's not talk about it.
I think this is a lot closer. And there's so many options. I personally want to get the in-game goals. I think that's why I won, because I hit every single one. But you're also doing that in a way that makes sense, in a way that is using the time well, and it's not making you pass out drunk. And to keep yourself from getting drunk, you're like, well, maybe I should bike to get myself sobered up on my track here. But biking takes longer. And so you're using more of your time, which means you have less turns. Or you're like, man, if I ate some cheese, I wouldn't be so drunk. And it's like, where is the cheese? Every time you need cheese, you cannot find a brewery that also makes cheese. So there's just a lot of fun, interesting things in this. Not a lot of player interaction, which of course is something that you really enjoy. I mean, there's a little bit in some ways when you can toast each other if you're in the same spot. But even with 4 players, we still did not get into the same spots that often. We kind of spread out to do our own thing. Yeah, it's super fun. And the theme is hilarious, in my opinion. So I love it.
Oh, yeah. The thing that I love about this game is you just have to know how you're moving around. And you have to know the 3 actions that happen when you're at the brewery. There's really not a lot going on. But the path that you take, how you're going to take it, do you want to try to meet up with people and get them drunk when they're already pretty drunk? There's just a bunch of fun stuff to do in this game.
Right.
And it's a theme that is not in any other games that I've seen, which is pretty cool too. I'm not a big brewery hopper, but it's still a cool theme. All right. So the last game we played is a game that I really enjoy and I want to play it more, but after playing this time, I realized why I don't play it more is because the setup and teardown sucks. And that is Champions of Midgard with both expansions. We played this at 4 players. It was me, Katie, Brandon, and did Matt play this? Yeah, Matt, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And effectively what this game is it's a worker placement game where you're sending your workers out to these different spaces on the board, and you're trying to collect dice, which are like weapons or different Vikings. They're technically Vikings, but each of the Vikings has like a specialization in weapon. There's like spear weapons, axes, bow and arrows. There's like a berserker in the expansion that just goes in there guns a-blazing and then kills himself. So you're just trying to collect these dice, and then you're going to send your workers out to fight these different kinds of monsters. There's a troll that you have to defeat, or it makes everybody get this token that's real bad. In the expansions, there's, I forget what they're called, berserkers, like berserkers. There's some berserkers you can fight. There's draugrs, and there's monsters that are down at the bottom that you have to take boats to fight. And they're harder to fight. They are more risky, but they're worth more points. And the reason you want to fight monsters is you're trying to collect different sets. They're in red, blue, and yellow. And if you can collect different sets of monsters, you're going to score some extra points. And all the monsters are going to give you points as well. So you're trying to get the most points. You're going to do that over the course of 8 rounds. Go to the spaces, collect food, wood, money, dice. Use the dice to kill things. If in the expansion, if your dice die, you get these little tokens of the color of the die. You can cash those in for these awesome bonuses that make the dying of your soldiers not as awful. So yeah, it's a fun worker placement game. If you haven't played it, I would recommend it. Just be prepared to spend about 20 minutes setting up and tearing down, because it sucks. So what do you think about Champions of Midgard?
I always like this. It is a lot, especially because we play with the mountains and the Valhalla expansions. I don't necessarily care about the mountains, but I feel like Valhalla is really helpful, especially if you get annoyed by roll resolve combat, which this has in it. I mean, amongst a lot of other things. So it's not overwhelming. But I like that thematically, that really makes sense. That, when I sacrifice my Vikings in battle, that I get their souls go to Valhalla, and then there's rewards. I mean, it's so Nordic thematic. Like, it's great. And there's just a lot of spaces then on where to place your worker. And again, for me, like deciding how you want to play your game. Are you like, I'm going to fight the troll every time and just shift blame on everybody else? Am I going to go and collect like these end of game cards for extra scoring opportunities? Am I going to go and get runes to use special powers to make things happen? Am I going to buy my own boat and then use it, try to use that effectively to go fight the like high point monsters, which are going to take a lot, but you got to risk it for the biscuit, right? So there's just a lot of different ways. We have like even like the pimp playmat, which honestly makes it easier. It's still not easy because there's like 12 billion different like things you have to set up. But it's because you got so much variety in the game. So that definitely is a trade-off. Like, I wish there were, and there probably is, someone's probably 3D printed made up some image for that. You people that know those kind of things that I absolutely don't, that you're way smarter than me. To like store them almost like I have through the graciousness of the Riveted. Like 3D printed holders that just keep all the different tokens and things in place, and you can just set them around the board and go. Like, that would be very helpful.
Chris also mentioned a Plano box, so I think a Plano box could work with like a bunch of different little compartments.
I don't know what a Plano box is.
It's one of those little like it's like a plastic box, but it has like individual compartments. So you can get this little tiny like plastic box with like 12 or 13 different compartments that you can put tokens in.
Like a tackle box?
Yeah, it looks like a little tackle box, but like smaller.
Okay. So I think that would be helpful, but just having the playmat is helpful because setting up all those different boards and stuff and keeping them together is kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's a fully robust game, especially with all of the expansions. Did I win this too?
I don't. Yeah, you almost lapped the last player. I think you were crushing it. Yeah. I don't want to talk about who the last player was. Well, it wasn't me. It was Brandon. So we will talk about that. Brandon was the last player. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, felt good. Okay.
So yeah, those are some of the games we played. We played individual games, but we just like to talk about the ones that we played together.
Yeah, there was a game I played where I lost terribly. Like, it was awful. I can't remember what it was. I think I played it with you.
I'm trying to think what else did we play.
Butt last because I just couldn't get anything together.
Let me see.
Unlike Jason, I did not keep track of the games that I played. I remember some. I may be talking about them in our feature.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think you played it with me. I think those are the only ones that we played. Was it Lords of Vegas?
No, I was close. That was like a 1-point spread.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. I'll have to work on that.
All right. Well, either way, those are the games we played. We're moving on.
All right. So we are continuing in our publisher series because, again, we like to talk about games that are old and busted. And by old in the gaming world, it can be 2 years ago. Like, and we want to fight against that somewhat. Like, yes, new shiny games, always fun. And we do hit on those and we will talk about those. But we all have collections of games that we've had for years and the games are good. Or there are games that are out there that are reasonably priced that you're not waiting for Kickstarter shipments from barges stuck in the Panama Canal. Like, there are other good games and we want to keep those, fresh in people's minds, or even for new gamers. They're really affordable ways to build your collection. And so checking out the publishers and what we like from them is, I think, one great way to do that. So today we're talking about Space Cowboys, which honestly...
What? Space games?
And that's the best thing about it. They don't have a lot of space games. That's why I really like Space Cowboys. Like, to be honest, some of my favorite games... Like, there are some games I really love made by Space Cowboys. I'm like, you go, Space Cowboys. To not doing space, which is awesome, and to making just really good games. So, again, we don't have a ton of them. I mean, Space Cowboys is a little bit of a smaller, I would say,
yeah, it's new and small, yes. Yeah.
But we want to talk about some really quality games. So we're going to count down our top 7 Space Cowboy games. Now, again, in my opinion, some of this ranking is complete crap, but on this particular publisher, Jason and I have very different rankings. So through his magical ranking system, which has skewed everything towards the games he likes, we'll present our top 7.
Okay, first off, I'll start at number 7 because I know you want to talk about number 6. First off, if it gets a first place vote, it got 10 points. Okay? If it doesn't, and if it gets second, it gets 9. If it gets third, it gets 8. Taking my scores plus your scores puts us where we are on this list. Okay? So it's not like I weighted them in my favor. It's just we voted some of these higher than others, and one of them is too high in my opinion. And we'll let you talk about that later. Number 7 is the first one that we're going to talk about. And this is one of the earlier games that we got in our collection because it looked cool and it was a cool piratey theme, and it's called Jamaica. And this is a game where you're taking on a pirate boat. It's basically a race to try to get through past the finish line, which is Port Royal, I think. And the way you're doing that is you're moving around on the map by rolling these dice and playing these cards. And if you meet up where another pirate ship is, you have to fight them, which could send you back or move you forward. But you're trying to steal treasure and all that kind of thing and just make it to the finish line first. It's effectively a roll and move game, and for all intents and purposes, but it's done in a bit different way, which is why people like it a little bit more than the standard roll and move. We no longer have this, but we did. I enjoyed playing it for a while, but then I just got. I think we played it out, and that's fine. So number 7 for us is Jamaica.
Yeah, I'm in the problem. And the reason why we don't have this game anymore because I was just unimpressed. I'm like, it's okay, but I thought it was too simplistic. I guess we could have kept it for our kids.
Well, and it's just one of those games where there's so much combat that you can't do anything. Like if you play at a bunch of players, you're going to be fighting all the time, and
there was combat. I don't remember that.
Yeah, and it just adds so much time onto the game because you got to decide how much gunpowder you're going to use. You got to roll the die, and I don't know. It's just it's fine. It's just not our jam anymore.
And I would say Space Cowboys makes a far superior pirate themed game, which will appear later on this list.
Agreed.
Okay, number 6, the greatest travesty to ever hit this podcast.
I think it's right where it needs to be.
Number 6 is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. No surprise, this is my number 1. It's my number 1. How it got all the way down to sticking number 6?
Because it was second to last on my list.
Because that's stupid. That's stupid.
It's not stupid.
A number 1 game should not go from number 1 to number 6. Because it's second to last on your list. That's like about number 6. So how come it got your ranking? I smell conspiracy.
Because you gave it 10 points. I'll tell you right now. While you're thinking, after you're done talking about it, I'll tell you what happened.
All right. So Consulting Detective. I love Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. This was originally, I don't remember who put it out originally.
Astari.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We're up to 4 sets of this game. There's a 5th one I'll talk about in a minute. So this game, you're playing against Sherlock Holmes. It's what you're supposed to be. To be fair, I don't follow the rules of this game. I make it an activity, which is why Jason doesn't like it. But that's fine. He can be wrong. I mentioned earlier, I love murder. I love games about solving cases. And that's what these are about. So you have a booklet. Most of the sets have 10 cases in them, which is a lot. You can play a solo or cooperatively with other people. I think it works best around, I play it a lot at 2 and sometimes at 3. 2 to 3, I think is good. I would never, I should play it solo, but I don't like to play by myself. So that I don't. But if you did, this is a great one to that. You get a case booklet that you read an introduction to the case, and then you're off. You have a map of London. You have a London directory. And so you are going down different places, hunting down, finding leads to put together the piece of the puzzle. Once you think you've got it, there's a set of questions that you need to answer to wrap up the case. And there's a cute little envelope adhered to the inside of the back of the booklet that you can read and see if you were right, the answers to the questions. And then there's also like a little wrap up where Sherlock and you kind of discuss the case, and you can, remedy any holes in the case that you've missed. Love this. The first one is not so great. It was translated, I think, poorly. I've heard a lot of people kind of condemn it. I still think all the cases are solvable. I was able to read through the typos and get over them. I personally think in some ways my favorite is the second one, where the second one, which has the Jack the Ripper murders, and so you actually work through several cases, which are several of the separate murders that Jack the Ripper committed, and then at the end you kind of put it all together to solve who you think Jack the Ripper is. And there's a lot of research that went into that. It's fantastic. Like, I work most of these with one of my really good friends, and she and I got out different pawns and made a murder board, and we're connecting string between the murders to see where they all happened and what happened in what area. It was nuts. It was nuts. It's so good. Yes, there's a lot of reading. However, I played 2 cases this weekend in the newest one that exists, the Baker Street Irregulars. And one of the people I was playing with was like, hey, there's an app. And I don't know how I missed it. It reads the introduction. I don't know if it also then will read the leads. So I don't mind. I generally am the reader. My friend is the note taker. And then if we have a third, they're the one chasing down leads in the newspapers, in the directories, all that. It's just so fun because when you get it, you're like, yes. Oh, and they did this. And I bet that so-and-so was in it with this person. And that's what happened. Let's go find that lead, or let's go talk to Lestrade. There's something so satisfying to me as a crime junkie. There is a new one coming out, and some of you I know in the Riveted are big into your blah, 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 Cthulhu. It was supposed to come out in March, but it looks like it's set for May. You can actually pre-order it on Miniature Market. And it's Consulting Detective, Bureau of Investigation, Investigations in Arkham and Elsewhere. It looks like there's only 5 cases in this one, which I think is boo-hiss. But you're in like Boston instead of London. You're doing things a little bit differently, which I think that Space Cowboys has really been trying to take these, and they've made them better each time, in my opinion. And starting with like the third one, which is Carlton House, you actually have a central location for some of the mysteries, which is a large manor, and so you're going around to these different rooms, and then you end up in a park, and you kind of are centraled around the park, so it kind of mixes things up a little bit. In the Baker Street Irregulars, they added a really great kind of timing mechanism where normally you're like, oh, if I happen to end up at the right place, I get a clue regardless if I know how I got there. In the Baker Street Irregulars, after you find out certain bits of information, you are circling a letter of the alphabet on this kind of master sheet. And so when you show up at certain places, it'll ask you, have you circled this letter? If you haven't, you find nothing there. Not yet. So then you can come back to a place after you find more information, you understand why you're there. Like, I think they really have made it much more interactive. And then it looks like that's going to be the same with this Bureau of Investigation. So I'm really excited. You can tell I stinking love this game. When I get it, it makes me feel like a genius. When I don't, I want to rip my hair out, but it's hours of entertainment. So I digress. Number 6, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. I made up for it being number 6 by talking about it the longest.
Yeah, so now we have 10 minutes to get through all the rest. This is a game. I agree with Katie. But the way we got the rankings is, Katie gave it a 10 because it was her number 1. I gave it a 2 because it was my second to last one. There's one I like least. So that gave it a total weight of 12, which put it where it is in this spot. The highest score was the number 18. So when 18, 16, 15, 13, 13, 12 gave us the Consulting Detective. Not my math. It's the way math works, not my rating. There we go.
Fake news.
All right, so moving on from that. 2-player game is next. We just picked this up not that long ago, and it's called Jaipur. This is a little 2-player game about collecting different resources and then selling them back to score points. You're also trying to collect camels, which will give you more flexibility in picking up cards and trading cards. And if you had the most camels at the end of the round, you're going to score some extra points. You're trying to be the player that wins 2 out of 3 rounds of this game, and you win the game. That's it. It's a little card game with some really cool tokens and nice art. And I like it. And we both apparently like it because it ranked higher than Consulting Detective. So what do you think about, do you agree with the 5 or no?
Well, I mean, it's not better than Consulting Detective, but...
That's true. Yeah.
I like Jaipur. Again, I ranked it kind of lower because I don't like 2-player games as much as games that we can include a lot of people.
You used to like 2-player games more.
I got tired of playing with you, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
I think that's what it is.
I just like the opportunity for more people to play, because when people come over and I go to look for games, the 2-player, and I'm like, oh crap, that's 2 players. Oh, that's 2 players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And 2-player games tend to be like a tug of war, and I don't always want that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So step off me.
All right, you want me to talk about the next one since you talked about Consulting Detective for like 20 minutes?
No, I'll talk about the next one. Jaipur's good. Right. Number 4, classic game, one of foundational to our collection, and one I played the crap out of when we had it, and that's Splendor. I don't know why I like this game so much. I actually haven't played it in a long time. I think I would still like it again. Splendor is where you are collecting these gems to, I don't know, I guess the theme is to curry the favor of these different like nobility type people, but ultimately they are worth points. And also when you collect these different people, they'll allow you to kind of have permanent amounts of gems, which then you use to get more and more like higher point cards or tiles. A lot of what I love about this game is the tactileness of it. Ours has like these chunky discs that represent the different colors of gems. I like that the different cards you're playing for are these kind of thicker cardboard tiles. It's really simple to play, simple to teach. And so then it becomes like, ooh, what are you going to take? I'm going to get it for you. What's the best kind of gems to collect? It's a fun, sweet, simple little game. Great for beginners, great for non-gamers. I really enjoy it. So Splendor, number 4.
We played this a pile. It was actually free for a while on the App Store, and I've played this a ton on my phone too. It's really good. It's just super fast, real quick actions, and just anybody can play it. It's good. All right, so number 3 is a Martin Wallace game. Yes, there's a Martin Wallace game that has nice art and good production from Space Cowboys. I know, it's rare. And it's called Via Nebula. And this is a game where players are actually picked up the box because we haven't played it for a bit and I forgot. You're building these networks in this cloudy town. I don't know. And you have to build networks to get resources back to your crane, which is a building site where you want to build a building. So you're trying to figure out how you want to build these networks so you have access to these goods. You're trying to decide when you want to use the goods because you got to claim these tiles that give you a point and put out some goods. And then you're just trying to get some of your stuff done before everybody else gets their stuff done to score the most points. It's a normal Martin Wallace stuff. It's actually kind of lighter, but it has that brass vibe where you have to build a network to the ore and the iron. But this is done in a better looking way and a simpler package. And, I kind of dig it. So our number 3, Via Nebula.
This is way too high because now I thought this was the one where you were flying over these cities and you were dropping down through the clouds to get to these different places and get stuff.
No,
that's not the same game?
That is Cloud Age.
Okay,
that's
so then
not. Yeah,
I don't remember this game at all. I don't know if I've played this game at all, even though you say I have. It should be ranked way lower.
You played it with Chris and Amy and me when that one.
I don't remember this game at all. It should not be number 3. See, fake news.
That's what you ranked it. I didn't do it. You did it.
I don't know what this game is. I don't.
Your ranking is this one's number 6 on your list, and it was number 1 on mine.
It should be way down. It should be 7 because I don't remember it, but it still should be low.
Again, well, either way,
this was ranked number 1 on yours.
Yeah, I like. This
Are you
better
serious?
Than yes, I'm serious.
We don't own this, do we?
Yes,
we
Chris
do.
Sent it to us. Yes, I'm looking at the box right now. I just said that.
I know, but I was like, no way, we don't own this game. What? This is your number 1?
Yeah, I like this better than the other ones.
How? I can't even remember it, so it can't be that good. I like
My Wallace.
Oh my gosh.
I played it like a couple times by myself and made a video, so I'm playing it a little bit. Are you
such a Marty Wallace fanboy that you're blinded by the fact that this game is so unremarkable that I confused it with something else that I liked better?
I guess if that's what you want to call it, but
yes, that's exactly what I'm going to call it. Hoy. Let's go to number 2, which is an actual good game. And
this one's a good game too.
Deserves to be ranked at number 2. And that game is Black Fleet. I alluded to this earlier when I mentioned a Space Cowboy game with a pirate theme. This is it. Like, this is so good. Is this still out of print or we get that fixed?
I think it's still out of print, yeah.
Sorry, everybody. There's a reason it's out of print because it's awesome. And people are snatching up the copies, I guess. But if you can find one, super fun. Now, light game. I absolutely would say that. It's a pick up and deliver game. You have a merchant ship, and the pieces are freaking adorable. You are picking up cubes, which actually fit into your merchant ship. Oh, it's so cute. And you are sailing to other ports and dropping them off and collecting coins. And it comes with metal coins, like straight up out the box. We didn't pimp it up.
True.
Nothing. Metal coins. Legit. So you're collecting your coins. You also, not only do you control a merchant ship, you control a pirate ship. So your pirate ship can go around and steal a good, which will fit on the pirate ship. So great. That you can then go bury on an island and get money for your booty as well.
Sorry. That was really funny.
You're laughing? You're 12 because I said booty?
No, you said money for your booty, and I think that's funny.
My gosh, you're dumb. Sorry, everyone, that you have to listen to what's basically a therapy session between Jason and I, like the whole time. Oh my gosh! So you do these things through really interesting card play. So you play cards out of your hand, and they have an amount of space movement for your merchant ship, one for your pirate ship, and then one for either, like, there's 2 different ships that operate from the Navy. And you can use these to block off your opponents, to send their pirate ships back to where they came. It's kind of part of the take that mechanic. You're collecting all these coins, which is going to allow you to flip over these cards. Everyone has the same number of cards, and they're cost the same amount of coins. But when you buy each card, it allows you to have a special power, which is different for everyone, which is really cool, I think. And so then as you go on and you flip more of these cards, you're able to use more powers, which kind of in some ways speeds up the game, but encourages other people to get those cards, to use those powers. Really fun game. So cool. If like your pirate ship gets caught, it just goes off the board for a turn, comes back in the next one. Like, it's not like, yes, is some take that, but it's not to where like I'm taking everything you've worked hard for away. Even when a pirate ship attacks a merchant ship, they take one of the goods. So it honestly, it's not like table flipping, rage inducing. It's just, good piratey fun. So that's why it's our number 2, which is actually an honest ranking of Black Fleet.
No, this game is really good. It can be really mean too, but when it's your turn again, you just start over. If something sinks, you just start over. It's not a big deal. So it's mean for a second, and then you forget about it. But it's really good. Pick up and deliver is a good mechanism, and this one looks really nice as well. All right, so number 1 should be no surprise. We both really like this one. I didn't actually make it my number 1, but it still made it my number 1.
Because it should have been compared to Via Nebula. Are you kidding me?
It was my number 2. It was my number 2. And this one is Elysium. And this is, what is this? That for Greek gods, right? Greek gods?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a game where you are, I don't even know what you are, but you're trying to recruit these different Greek gods from, I think there's 5 different pantheon, or 5 different gods that you're using each game. And you're trying to use them in a couple different ways. If you recruit one and it goes above your board, you're going to have like the special ability of the card. But at some point, you need to put them down into your Elysium, because that's where they're going to score you points. So you're trying to balance, when do you put these kick cards into the Elysium? How long do you leave them up at the top so you can have the special ability and all that kind of thing? And the way that you get cards is through this interesting like pillar system. You have 4 different colored pillars, and each of the cards are going to require that you have a certain color pillar or pillars in front of you to take the card. Every time you take a card, though, you got to get rid of a pillar. So it could come down where it's your turn for the last turn. You can't take a card because you don't have the appropriate colors of pillars. You just take a card off the top of the deck, which is a citizen, and it goes into your active above your Elysium. Doesn't do anything for you, but when it goes into Elysium, it can count as a card of a set. So kind of a worthless turn, but it's not all lost. So it's a nice like give and take of when you want to take these cards. What card are you going to take? You're looking around at your opponents to see what they have left pillar wise, what they're going to take, and you're trying to make the best that you can to score the most points that you can. And that's it. It's criminal that there's no expansions. This gets a ton of like positive vibes on reviews and BGG. I don't know why it is like it is, and there's no expansions, and they hate this game. I have no idea. So our number 1, Elysium.
I absolutely love Elysium. I honestly had a hard time deciding if Consulting Detective would beat Elysium. As you can see, Jason decided to make the choice for me. Elysium is so good. Like, I love it that each of the different gods and goddesses has like their own mechanic they use in the game. And so trying to decide who you want to keep active and who you want to put in your Elysium to like bank points, like, chef's kiss on multi-card use, on easy gameplay but difficult decisions, like, yes. I love banking points for the end and just making power combos. Absolutely needs expansion. There's been chatter repeatedly about it. I just was looking at a Reddit kind of thread that said they're making an expansion for it, but they're taking their time with it, which I think that's just a way to pacify me from like...
It's a cop-out.
Raging at the Space Cowboys home office and like threatening to, I don't know, get crazy if they don't make one.
burn it to the ground.
Right. Salt the earth. Like, I want an expansion because it's so right for an expansion. I think it comes with what, maybe 9, your choice of nine different gods and goddesses.
Yeah, there's 8 or 9. Yeah, something like that.
There's a bajillion of them in the Greek pantheon. And if you run out of those, let's just make the Roman counterparts. And so you just change up the powers. Like,
or Norse, whatever you want to do.
Right. It doesn't work with the Elysium.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it'd have to be Valhalla then and all that kind of mess.
But there's tons. You've got all kinds of minor gods and goddesses and demigods that you can throw in there. There's just so much you could do with this game, and it's so good. I actually am like, man, we need to play this again because I stinking love it. So Elysium deserves to be number 1. Absolutely. There's some honorable mentions that weren't in our top 7. Part of it is we never played them or I can't remember them. So Orbis.
So we probably should have had Via Nebula down here.
We should have. I should have put it down there because I'm like, what the heck, man? I thought it was this Cloud Age game that was really good. This game is crap. I didn't notice it was a Marty Wallace game or it would have recommended. No, it's crap. Marty Wallace can't do anything but London, right?
Oh, man, you are harsh. You're a jerk.
I am. Marty, we need to talk, okay? I'm fine with that. It's not like you listen to our podcast, but if you did, we'd have a conversation about how you design your games and deep depression that you have obviously found yourself in because you keep writing about the Industrial Revolution. So Vi and I could go on here. Orbis, I don't know. It's really cutesy looking. Jason swears I played it.
Yeah, we played it with Chris and Amy. You're building like this pyramid of tiles, and you're trying to get this like god tile up at the top. We only played it one time, so that's kind of why I left it down here because I couldn't really remember it either. But
the artwork is really like cute, and there's something about cubes and each of the like tiles do stuff. It looks like it's a fun game. I don't remember it, but it sounds good. Skull, I did not play, I don't think, but you have.
I played that, yeah. It's a little push your luck game where you're trying to get bluff for skulls. Once there's some skulls and there's some roses, and you're trying to
get
not
most
be
roses.
the one. Yes, you're trying not to bust it with skulls or whatever, yeah.
Which the artwork also really cool on that, and we like push your luck. Watson and Holmes, which we have never played, but as you all know, I'm a Sherlock fangirl, so I should. I don't know why we haven't, unless it's some kind of mechanic we don't like.
No, it's like a worker placement game where you go to a spot and you get different cards that are going to help you along with the case. I just think it's harder to find, or I don't know. I don't know why we don't have it.
And then the last one is Unlock. I think I've only played one of these, and it was the Wizard of Oz one.
Yes, Wizard of Oz. Yes.
It's like, please tell me I'm thinking the right one. But again, this is kind of the escape room in a box type of things. Wizard of Oz one was devastatingly hard, so I made a bad choice in starting there, or someone had given it to us or something. I would like to try maybe one that's less difficult to see if I can actually get how the game likes to function, and then I would move on. But still, I love puzzle games, and they do have a lot of ones that kind of fit into that like solve a mystery kind of theme for me. And so again, I love Space Cowboys. Do you want to say anything about these honorable mentions before I move on?
No, of all of these, I think Skull would be my favorite. Had you played Skull, I think it would be in our top 7 because it's really good.
It certainly beat out that Vine Nebula BS that I
No, it wouldn't.
I know there are other things Space Cowboys makes. Time Stories being one of them, which I'm desperate to play, but for some reason I'm confused about it because they have like the regular one Time Stories, and then they got these new ones, but like the new ones like are separate, but the old ones you need like a base game, but it's like really expensive, but for some reason no one's reselling them like cheaper, because even though you've already played it once, like why would you use it again? I don't know, but I want to play Time Stories again. That's also Space Cowboys. I'm sure there are lots more from Space Cowboys that we don't know about. Since I have such a love for them, tell me, what from Space Cowboys do I need to play?
Via Nebula.
No, I've already decided that's a no. I evidently played it and dismissed it. You guys know me. You know what I like. What should I be playing? Is Time Stories worth me hunting down, resolving to break down and pay the money that it's asking? Please tell us. Tell us on Facebook. Tell us in our Facebook group, #TheRiveted. If you're not a part of that, You should be. Just good quality games, talking about games, helping each other out. There's our Discord channel chat. There is our Instagrams. There is our YouTube. There is our Twitter. We really like hearing from you guys. It's been a great way to find new games, to get honest reviews from people. Again, that's really what we're here for. We're looking at old games. We're looking at new games. We don't get paid by anybody to do reviews. Jason cranks them out like nobody's business. My man is a machine with the board game reviews. I am just the derelict that hangs along and criticizes, pretty much.
Talks about how terrible my games that I like are.
Well, if you'd like better ones, it wouldn't be a problem.
That's not going to happen, and you know that.
I know. But I took an oath, and here I am.
Yeah, that's true.
I made my vows. That's when like board gaming really tests them. I think we should put that. Let's renew our vows in a couple of years, and we'll add in board gaming tastes.
Okay, sounds good.
I will love you despite the fact that you're a Marty Wallace fanboy and refuse to play any game that is story based.
Yeah, that's true. And I will let you play those games that I don't like.
Without you?
Yep.
How magnanimous. We have totally derailed. This episode has totally derailed. I'm sorry. Everyone, God love you for listening to us this whole time. You get a special, the highest of fives throwback from me to you for listening to this episode and putting up with us.
Yeah, I'll let Katie give you the high fives.
Whoa.
They love listening to us. They love my sultry tones.
Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you today?
I don't know. I'm really hungry and I think I'm kind of tired.
Okay, we got to cut this short. Like, it has been long enough. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Skip this week. Come back next week. I'll slap Jason around a little bit and we'll try and start again.
Yeah, I'll be on better behavior next week, I promise.
I've been Katie, as regretful as I am to say that, I think.
And I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming.
I'm surprised you didn't make like a different analogy for the Cowboys. I was waiting for like a rhinestone cowboy or something to come out.